If you're over 60 and waking up 2, 3, sometimes 4 times every night to use the bathroom, I need you to stop drinking plain water after dinner. And I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Water is healthy. Staying hydrated is what every doctor recommends. How can water be the problem? Here's the truth. Plain water isn't the problem during the day. Plain water is excellent during the day. The problem is what plain water does at night. It goes straight to your bladder. It doesn't relax your nervous system. It doesn't prepare your body for sleep. And after 60, when your kidneys produce less of the hormone that helps you retain water overnight, plain water just sits there waiting to wake you up at 2 a.m. I'm Dr. Hartman. 15 years in practice, I've watched patients struggle with fragmented sleep, try sleeping pills that leave them groggy, and accept waking up multiple times as just part of getting older. And the tragedy is that most of them never learned the simple truth. The solution isn't drinking less. The solution is drinking smarter. Subscribe and hit like right now. What I'm about to explain will not come up at your next doctor appointment. There's no billing code for teaching you which drinks actually support deep sleep. The system makes money when you fill prescriptions for Ambien, not when you understand how magnesium and glycine work. Today I'm going to walk you through 5 drinks, ranked from helpful to genuinely transformative, that you can use tonight to replace plain water and sleep 6 to 7 hours straight without your bladder waking you up once. Let's start with why plain water fails you after 60. Your body changes. Antidiuretic hormone, the chemical signal that tells your kidneys to hold onto water at night instead of sending it to your bladder, declines with age. By 65, you're producing 30 to 40% less of it than you did at 30. Melatonin production drops. Your bladder becomes more sensitive. It signals the need to urinate earlier and more frequently. And once you wake up, falling back asleep becomes harder because your cortisol, which should be low at night, spikes the moment you get out of bed. So drinking plain water before bed just fills your bladder without giving your body anything it needs to stay asleep. No magnesium to relax your muscles, no glycine to calm your brain, no tryptophan to produce melatonin, just liquid that your kidneys process and send straight to your bladder within 2 hours. The drinks I'm about to share are different. Each one contains specific compounds that help your nervous system shift from alert to rest. They provide hydration without overloading your bladder, and when you use them correctly, they work starting tonight. Let's begin with number 5. Number 5, warm, unsweetened almond milk. Most people think only cow's milk helps with sleep. But after 60, when lactose intolerance becomes more common and digestive issues at night become a real problem, almond milk is a safer and often more effective choice. Almond milk contains 2 compounds that directly affect sleep quality: magnesium and tryptophan. Magnesium is a mineral that over half of adults over 60 are deficient in. It regulates neurotransmitters in your brain, particularly GABA, which is your body's primary calming signal. When magnesium levels are adequate, your muscles relax, your heart rate slows, and your nervous system shifts into rest mode naturally. Tryptophan is an amino acid that your body converts into serotonin during the day and melatonin at night. Without adequate tryptophan, your melatonin production stays low, and falling asleep becomes a struggle. A study published in 2014 in the Journal of Research in Medical Sciences followed adults who drank almond milk twice daily for 2 weeks. The results were clear. Deep sleep time increased by an average of 22 minutes. Nighttime awakenings decreased. Morning alertness improved. And unlike cow's milk, unsweetened almond milk doesn't spike blood sugar, doesn't cause bloating, and doesn't create the mucus production that some people experience with dairy. I had a patient, Helen, 63, from Greensboro. She'd been waking up 3 times a night for over a year. She tried everything: melatonin supplements, prescription sleep aids. Nothing worked consistently, and the pills left her feeling foggy the next day. We started her on warm almond milk. 120 milliliters, warmed, consumed 60 minutes before bed. Within 1 week, she was down to waking up once per night. Within 3 weeks, she slept through the night 4 out of 7 days. No prescription, no side effects, just a simple shift in what she drank before bed. Here's how to use it correctly. Choose unsweetened almond milk with no added flavors or sugar. Warm 120 to 150 milliliters. Don't boil it. Just warm it to a comfortable drinking temperature. Drink it 60 to 90 minutes before bed. You can add a small pinch of cinnamon if you want, which supports circulation overnight, but avoid honey or sugar if you're managing blood sugar. This is not a magic cure, but it's a foundation. It provides magnesium and tryptophan without filling your bladder the way plain water does. Number 4, valerian root tea. If your problem isn't just waking up to urinate, but also a mind that won't stop spinning, anxiety that keeps you tense, or a heart rate that won't settle down even when you're lying in bed, Valerian root addresses that directly. Valerian root has been used for centuries as a natural sedative, not a sleeping pill, a sedative. There's a difference. Sleeping pills force drowsiness by suppressing brain activity. Valerian root works with your nervous system to reduce excitability naturally. The active compounds in valerian root, particularly valerianic acid, increase GABA activity in your brain. GABA is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. When GABA receptors are activated, brain activity slows, anxiety decreases, and your body begins the natural transition into sleep. A meta-analysis published in 2020 in the journal Sleep Medicine Reviews analyzed 16 studies involving over 1,100 participants. The conclusion was consistent. Valerian root significantly improved sleep quality, reduced the time it took to fall asleep, and decreased nighttime awakenings, all without the side effects associated with pharmaceutical sleep aids. After 60, this matters more because your nervous system becomes less resilient to stress. Cortisol stays elevated longer. Anxiety about health, finances, or just the passage of time can keep your brain active when it should be winding down. Valerian root helps shut that down. I had a patient, Robert, 67, from Durham, retired, no major health issues, but every night he'd lie in bed for an hour, mind racing, unable to turn off his thoughts. He didn't feel anxious during the day, but the moment he tried to sleep, his brain activated. We started him on valerian root tea, 1 cup steeped for 7 minutes, consumed 45 minutes before bed. Within 10 days, he reported falling asleep within 15 to 20 minutes instead of an hour. And more importantly, when he woke up to use the bathroom once during the night, he fell back asleep immediately instead of lying awake for another hour. Here's how to use it. Steep 1 bag of valerian root tea or 1 teaspoon of dried valerian root in hot water for 5 to 7 minutes. Let it cool to a warm, drinkable temperature. Drink it 45 to 60 minutes before bed. One important note: valerian root can interact with certain medications, particularly sedatives and anti-anxiety drugs. If you're on any prescription medications that affect your nervous system, talk to your doctor before trying this. And if you're finding this helpful so far, hit subscribe and leave a like. I release evidence-based health content for people over 50 every week. Your support makes this channel possible. Number 3, tart cherry juice. This is where things get interesting, because tart cherry juice contains something almost no other food or drink has: natural melatonin. Not a precursor that your body has to convert, not tryptophan that needs multiple steps to become melatonin. Actual melatonin, ready to use. Tart cherries are one of the only significant natural sources of melatonin in concentrations high enough to affect sleep, and the research on this is genuinely remarkable. A study published in 2010 in the Journal of Medicinal Food followed participants who drank tart cherry juice twice daily for 2 weeks. Sleep time increased by an average of 84 minutes, not 8, 84. That's over an hour of additional sleep per night. A follow-up study in 2012 published in the European Journal of Nutrition confirmed that tart cherry juice significantly elevated melatonin levels in the bloodstream and improved both sleep quality and sleep duration. But there's a second benefit that matters enormously after 60. Tart cherries contain powerful anti-inflammatory compounds called anthocyanins. If you have joint pain that wakes you up at 3 or 4 a.m., the kind that makes it hard to get comfortable, tart cherry juice addresses that. At the same time it's helping you sleep. I had a patient, Dorothy, 71, from Raleigh. She had mild osteoarthritis in her knees and hips. Not severe enough for surgery, but painful enough that she'd wake up every time she rolled over at night. She'd tried melatonin supplements. They helped a little, but she still woke up multiple times because of the pain. We added tart cherry juice, 60 milliliters of pure tart cherry juice, no added sugar, diluted with a small amount of warm water, consumed 60 minutes before bed. Within 1 week, she reported sleeping more deeply. Within 2 weeks, she was waking up once instead of 3 or 4 times. The combination of melatonin for sleep and anti-inflammatory compounds for pain made the difference. Here's how to use it correctly. Choose 100% pure tart cherry juice with no added sugar. Many brands add sweeteners. Avoid those. You want pure tart cherry juice. Measure 60 to 90 milliliters. You can dilute it with a small amount of warm water if the tartness is too strong. Drink it 60 to 90 minutes before bed. One critical warning: tart cherries can interact with blood-thinning medications like warfarin. If you're on blood thinners, consult your doctor before using this. Tart cherry provides melatonin directly, but melatonin alone isn't enough if cortisol is still high when you go to bed, and that's exactly what number 2 addresses. Number 2, golden milk. Turmeric with black pepper and warm milk. Let me ask you this: Have you ever gone to bed exhausted but unable to fall asleep? Your body is tired, but your mind won't shut off. Your heart is beating slightly faster than it should. You're not anxious about anything specific, but you can't relax. That's high cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone, and when it stays elevated at night, even if you don't feel stressed, it keeps your brain on alert, prevents melatonin release, and makes deep sleep impossible. And here's what I need you to understand as someone who spent years in cardiac surgery. High cortisol doesn't just destroy your sleep. It damages your cardiovascular system. Night after night of elevated cortisol means elevated blood pressure, increased inflammation in your arteries, and higher risk of heart attack and stroke. Poor sleep and heart disease don't just correlate, they're connected by the same mechanism: chronic cortisol elevation. So how do you lower cortisol naturally before bed? Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, is one of the most effective natural agents for regulating the HPA axis, the communication pathway between your brain and your adrenal glands where stress hormones are controlled. When curcumin is absorbed properly, it reduces cortisol production, increases GABA activity, and calms the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that stays overactive when you're trying to fall asleep. But here's the problem: curcumin absorbs poorly on its own. That's why black pepper matters. Piperine, the active compound in black pepper, increases curcumin absorption by up to 8 times. A study published in 2019 in Phytotherapy Research followed adults who took curcumin supplements every evening for 4 weeks. Cortisol levels dropped by an average of 23%. Deep sleep improved. Overall sleep quality, as measured by polysomnography, increased significantly. And when you combine curcumin with warm milk, the calming effect happens faster because the fat in milk aids absorption, and the warmth itself signals your body that it's time to wind down. I had a patient, Thomas, 68, from Charlotte. He'd been a high-stress executive his whole career. Retired now, but his body hadn't adjusted. Every night, he'd lie in bed with his mind spinning through tomorrow's plans, even though tomorrow didn't matter anymore. He wasn't anxious, he was just wired. We started him on golden milk. Half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a small pinch of black pepper, mixed into 150 milliliters of warm almond milk. Consumed 1 hour before bed. Within 2 weeks, he reported falling asleep faster. Within a month, he said his mornings felt different, clearer, less heavy. He was sleeping deeper and his body was recovering overnight instead of staying in stress mode. Here's how to make it. Mix half a teaspoon of pure turmeric powder with a small pinch of black pepper. Add 150 milliliters of warm milk. You can use almond milk, oat milk, or regular milk if you tolerate dairy. Stir thoroughly. Drink it slowly, about 1 hour before bed. Don't drink it on a completely empty stomach if you have a sensitive digestive system. And don't make it too strong. More turmeric doesn't mean better sleep. It just means potential stomach upset. This isn't just a sleep aid, it's cardiovascular protection, anti-inflammatory support, and cortisol regulation, all in one drink. Golden milk lowers cortisol and prepares your body for sleep. But number 1 does something none of the other drinks can. It actively restores your muscles and rebuilds tissue while you sleep. Number 1, magnesium glycinate dissolved in warm water. This is the drink that changed my approach to sleep recommendations completely, and most people have never heard of it. You've probably heard of magnesium supplements. Maybe you've even tried magnesium oxide or magnesium citrate, but magnesium glycinate is different. It's magnesium bound to glycine, an amino acid that has its own powerful effects on sleep. Here's why this combination is so effective. Magnesium regulates over 300 biochemical reactions in your body, including the ones that control your nervous system and muscle relaxation. But most forms of magnesium absorb poorly or cause digestive issues. Magnesium glycinate absorbs efficiently and doesn't cause the diarrhea that magnesium citrate often does. And the glycine it's bound to has its own remarkable effects. Glycine lowers your core body temperature, which is one of the most important biological signals your body needs to enter deep sleep. It reduces heart rate. It increases slow-wave brain activity, the kind that appears during the deepest, most restorative stages of sleep. A study published in 2007 in the journal Neuropsychopharmacology gave participants just 3 grams of glycine before bed. The results were striking. They fell asleep faster. They stayed in deep sleep longer, and most importantly, they woke up feeling noticeably more refreshed and mentally clear. But here's the part that matters most after 60. Glycine supports collagen production and muscle repair during sleep. After 60, your body's ability to rebuild tissue overnight declines significantly. Glycine helps compensate for that decline. That's why people who use magnesium glycinate consistently report not just better sleep, but also lighter legs in the morning, less joint stiffness, and a clearer mind. I had a patient, Margaret, 72, from Winston-Salem. She slept 6 hours a night, which sounds adequate, but she woke up exhausted every single morning. Her legs felt heavy, her joints were stiff. She assumed it was just age. We started her on magnesium glycinate, 200 milligrams dissolved in warm water, consumed 30 minutes before bed. Within 1 week, she noticed her legs felt lighter in the morning. Within 3 weeks, she said she was waking up actually rested for the first time in years. Her sleep wasn't longer, it was deeper, and her body was using that sleep to repair itself instead of just lying there unconscious. Here's how to use it. Take 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate powder. Dissolve it in 120 milliliters of warm water. Stir until fully dissolved. Drink it 30 to 45 minutes before bed. You can start with 200 milligrams and increase to 400 if needed. Some people respond well to lower doses. Others need more. One note, magnesium glycinate is very safe, but if you have kidney disease, talk to your doctor before using any magnesium supplement. Impaired kidney function can cause magnesium to accumulate. This is the one drink that doesn't just help you fall asleep. It helps your body recover while you sleep. Muscles rebuild, collagen is synthesized, your nervous system resets, and you wake up with a clear mind and a body that actually feels rested. Now, you know the 5 drinks. But knowing what to drink is only half. The other half is how to drink them without waking up to urinate. Here are 6 practical tips that make these drinks work without filling your bladder. Tip 1. Keep the volume small. 100 to 150 milliliters maximum. You don't need a full glass. 1 small cup is enough to deliver the nutrients without overloading your bladder. These drinks work through their compounds, not their volume. Tip 2. Drink 60 to 90 minutes before bed, not right before. This gives your body time to absorb the nutrients and process the liquid. By the time you go to bed, the active compounds are in your system, but the liquid has already passed through your kidneys. Tip 3. Use the bathroom right before bed, even if you don't feel like you need to. An empty bladder gives you the best chance of sleeping through the night. Make it part of your routine. Drink your chosen beverage. Wait 60 minutes. Brush your teeth. Use the bathroom one last time, then go to bed. Tip 4. Sip slowly over 10 to 15 minutes. Don't gulp it down. Spread it out. This helps your body absorb better and prevents your bladder from being shocked by a sudden volume of liquid. Tip 5. Choose drinks that are warm, not cold. Cold liquids can actually increase urine production temporarily. Warm liquids are absorbed more slowly and don't trigger the same diuretic effect. Tip 6. Try one drink for 1 full week before switching to another. Everyone's body responds differently. Testing each drink individually for a full week helps you identify what works best for you without confusion. You don't need sleeping pills. You don't need to accept waking up multiple times as just part of aging. And you definitely don't need to suffer through another night of broken, unrefreshing sleep. Sometimes the solution is simple. 1 drink, the right compounds, the right timing, just enough to support your body's natural sleep mechanisms without overwhelming your bladder. Let me summarize the 5 drinks. Number 5. Warm unsweetened almond milk. Magnesium and tryptophan help relax your nervous system and support melatonin production. Number 4. Valerian root tea. Increases GABA activity to calm a racing mind and reduce nighttime anxiety. Number 3. Tart cherry juice. Provides natural melatonin and anti-inflammatory compounds that reduce pain-related awakenings. Number 2. Golden milk with turmeric and black pepper. Lowers cortisol, reduces systemic inflammation, and protects cardiovascular health during sleep. Number 1. Magnesium glycinate dissolved in warm water. Supports deep sleep, lowers core body temperature, and actively rebuilds muscle and collagen while you sleep. Each one works. You don't need all 5, just choose one. The one that addresses your specific problem. Racing mind, valerian root, high stress, golden milk, poor muscle recovery, magnesium glycinate. Start tonight. 1 small glass, the right drink, the right timing. How old are you, and which drink are you trying first? Write your age and your choice in the comments. I want to know what resonates most with this community. Subscribe to Dr. Hartman if you haven't already. Leave a like. Share this with someone who's been struggling with sleep and doesn't know there are options beyond pills. Nobody in a doctor's office is going to walk you through these 5 drinks. There's no time. The system profits from prescriptions, not from you understanding how magnesium and glycine work. But you just learned exactly what to do. Starting tonight, you can sleep deeper, wake up less, and give your body the recovery it actually needs. I'm Dr. Hartman. Your health is your responsibility, but you don't have to figure it out alone.